Exclusively on the OysterLink Podcast, the fastest growing hospitality show platform in the US. Meet Chef Christopher Robert from his family kitchen in France to working under Gordon Ramsay into becoming the executive chef at Queen Miami Beach, one of Florida's most iconic restaurants. In this episode, he shares what it really takes to thrive in top-tier kitchens, lessons from the Gordon Ramsay experience, and tips for young chefs breaking into the industry. If you're building a serious career in hospitality, this is the episode you can't skip. So, to start, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your career path? I know you have a very interesting one, but I would love for the audience to hear it from you.
Sure. So my name is Christopher. I'm coming from France originally. I live in the US for the last 10 years now. I started cooking when I was 16. Back to France. I worked in some places during summers. And then I decided to go to a culinary school at 17, where I got my degree. Beside that, I started to work in some places after a while. And I grew like probably around 10 years. I work in France in different places like Montpellier, my hometown, Lyon as well. La Tour Crayon, it's called. It's a hotel with a Radisson Hotel. So I worked for about a year over there. And then I get back to my hometown, Montpellier. I work from some restaurant by the coast where I worked for 2-3 years. And my parents are also in the industry. So back then, they used to have a catering company for 15 years plus. So I worked for them for about 4 to 5 years, which was very interesting to work with his parents, both of them. But I learned a lot on myself, on way to cook, and you can be the same way with your parents than an employer. So it's very interesting. I think that helped me to build something through the future as well, either with my parents himself or the way I handle, working with other people. Just because of learning how to speak with your parents, it's still a kitchen. So the environment, my dad was in the kitchen, my mom was, so it's a catering company, but it was like, a shop you can go and buy stuff, very traditional French food. So she was in the front, we were in the back, and it was fun. It was fun. But after a couple of years, I had the opportunity to come to the US. So my former chef, my first job as a cook, called me 10 years later, and he said, "Listen, I'm gonna open a restaurant in Miami. Do you want to come?" I said, "Yeah, of course. I mean, who's going to ask me that a second time?" So I did take the job. Unfortunately, after 6 months, even before I arrived in the US, it's a process, the paper, visa, and stuff like that. So he got there, he opened the place, and unfortunately, after a couple of months, he had to shut it down because it wasn't busy enough. That was 10 years ago. The business in Miami was very different. The industry wasn't what it is right now. Far away from that. The location wasn't great. It wasn't his time. Let's say. Let's put it that way. Um, so he find me another job, just to be able, to keep doing the visa stuff and everything. So he find me a job at Green Street Cafe, which is in Coconut Grove, and I worked there for about a year, the J1 visa. So I learned a lot because my English was from zero. I couldn't put a word after the other, so I gotta start everything from the beginning again, which was great. I learned a lot from, it was very American breakfast. We did at that time, it was like biscuit. We do our own bread, the buns also for the burgers. So it was a very different type of cuisine for me ever. So I learned a lot on that side. The culture as well, very different. Um, but I'm grateful of this opportunity back then. That's helped me to build who I am also right now. After that, I worked for some places in Miami Beach. So it's called Semilla. It's a French bistro. So I worked there for a couple months as well until I find the opportunity to work at Zuma. So that's where I start to change completely the cooking skills, knowledge. I have again to start from scratch because I have zero knowledge about Asian food at all. My Asian culture was very low at that time. So I started as a sous chef, and I worked there for about 2 years. Where it's Zuma, it's a very busy place, so we work very hard daily, so we can learn also very fast and quicker in that condition. So it's been rough, but it's been good, really good. I'm very grateful again uh, for this position. I helped me grow as a chef, and it's different flavors, different ingredients. So I learned again a lot from that. And then I decided I have an opportunity to become a chef de cuisine for a restaurant that was opening at that time. It's called Azabu. So we opened this place with the executive chef from Japan, and I stayed about 2 years again. The chef left, and I keep working myself in this position with the sushi room that we had as well with Chef Yasu. Um, so we worked together for about a year or so, and then I got an opportunity to go to the one hotel. This was right before the COVID. So I took the opportunity because it's an hotel, more management, more a bigger restaurant, So Azabu was great. It was a good step, a little too small. So, when you want to grow at some point, you need to have more responsibility. That's the only way you can get to certain position or to grow yourself. So I decided to go there, but unfortunately, after 3 months, everything shut down in the whole world. So we have to shut down as well this place, and COVID happened. We stay home. I got my daughter at the same time, so it was a tricky situation. Should I go back to restaurant, working as hard as I used to? Having your daughter at the same time was maybe an opportunity for me to figure out something else. So which what I did. I became a private chef for about 2 years, 2 years and a half. It was the opportunity to try myself on doing something else, trying to find some more time to enjoy my daughter, at least for the first few years, which was great. Actually, I traveled. I went to the Bahamas. I worked for a family from Coral Gables, so I cooked some dinner from Pharrell Williams as well. So they have good connections. So I learned a lot again. It's different organization. You do your grocery to a Whole Food. You have your meat supplier, fish supplier, but it's not the same quantity. So, it's very, very different. So daily basic, it's pretty much cooking for 5 people, and then they travel a little bit, follow them. Um, but it was a good time. It was a really good time. I enjoyed myself. Very good family. So yeah, it was great. I just decided, after 2 years, I get bored a little bit, I would say, just because uh, I learn a lot, but in the same time, you get stuck if you don't push yourself to keep learning. This industry is really it never stop. You never stop to learn. It's always growing from others, from sous chefs, chefs, cooks, anyone actually work in these restaurants. You can always learn something new, and it does happen. You keep learning, and that's how you become better, better to manage, better to cook. So all this year passed in the kitchen and having this now step back, doing a private chef thing, you have to push yourself to do new things. If you don't, you start to get a little bit lazy, I would say. You just because everything become more simple, they eat the same thing more or less. It's like us at home. You want to add your fish on these days, your piece of salmon, you want to have your steaks or chicken. So all week around it's rice and salad and stuff like that. So it's fine at the beginning just because of the flexibility and be able to be home more often. But like I said, became too simple. it became a little bit boring, to be honest, as a chef. So it's hard to push yourself on daily basis to create new things. For my experience, maybe others they have an easier way to push themselves and get better on that thing. But for me, was to go back to restaurant. The craziness of everything that happened daily. There is always something happening. It's never Each day is never the same than the day before. So I miss that, I guess. So I got the opportunity to open a restaurant for Gordon Ramsay at that time. So I took the opportunity. Obviously, it's one in a lifetime, I guess. Um, so they hired me to open Lucky Cat in Miami. So I got lucky. They hired me long enough prior the opening to be able to go to London to train a lot. So I spent about 6 months roughly over there, knowing once, but 3 weeks there, 1 month here, 2 weeks here. So it's been great. I learned a lot from the chefs over there. He remind me a lot like friends. So it was my first time in London as well. Never walked or traveled over there before. So obviously, came in a new country. It's very close from France. I never realized the chance we have to be so close from London. And, when you start to speak another language, a lot more doors open to you. So I've been lucky. I've been there. I learned a lot from the chef, a lot of new connections as well. Um, and we opened Lucky Cat in Manchester together. I work in Mayfair with them and a Mayfair location, and then they helped me out to bring the brand to the US, which was it wasn't easy. It's a lot of different product back to London, back to the UK. To replicate as much as we can a brand from another country. Um, they obviously have recipes, ideas, the decoration, the design, the brand himself was already there, but to adapt it to the U.S. market it's been challenging, but we did a good job, I believe. The restaurant was beautiful. The food that we decide to so the menu item that we decide to pick from the UK, and then we bring some new dish that we create for the US market. I think we did a good job. Gordon was very happy at that time when we opened the restaurant. He loves the food. He loved the way we built the kitchen and redesigned everything and the equipment. So it was a good experience. Almost 2 years between the pre-opening, opening, and after. Again, a lot of opportunities, to grow with this company. And then I got the opportunity to work here where I am right now at Queen Miami Beach. Very different concept as well, something new for me. Again, know about the cooking style, but more about the entertainment. So this place is a restaurant, obviously, but is also an entertainment. So people come for the dinner, but they come for the experience. What we offer here, it's really shows. So it's impressive. When you get inside the restaurant, it's big, high ceiling, a lot of equipment for lights, sound system. So it's at first it's very how can I say that? A lot. You get in, it's very a lot of lights, a lot of sound, a lot of space. So it's hard to even as a client when I came the first time for dinner, you look at everything. So the focus is not on the plate anymore only. Obviously, you want to eat well and have nice plating and all these things, but everything else come together. The lights, the show, the people who sing, the saxophonist, the aerialist. So there is a lot going on. So you always eating, but looking around. So waiting for something to happen. There is no specific timing that is happening. So you never know when it's coming. So it's a very different approach of what I used to do, which was really food focused. Sitting down, typically dinner, even if it's a sharing concept or not. But you sit down, you have some music in the background, the server, the sommelier, whatever. But this is a little bit different setup, and it's been good so far. So this is my story here in Miami.
What an interesting story. I mean, while you were talking, I just had one question. Who was easier to satisfy in the kitchen, your dad or Gordon Ramsay?
My dad, for sure, for sure.
Okay. And can you
Yeah,
give
yeah,
me
yeah.
one piece of
No.
advice you got from like your dad and one piece of advice you got from Gordon Ramsay that you still use today? Something really that means a lot to you.
So my dad, I will say, it wasn't really a word or something around culinary, but it was more about showing me how he can handle to have his son working under him without being, like I explained earlier on that situation, it was really an adaptation for both of us because we work daily, 6 a.m. in the morning, going grocery. So it was more about learning from him how to act, and this I guess I realized when I became a dad as well. So I haven't realized that before, just because you do your thing, it's a daily thing, you go to work. But now that I have a daughter, the way I act with her, even if I go in the kitchen and try to cook something, so being patient, maybe that will be a word that I can put on that. So being patient with your kid, I guess. So this will be from my dad, from Gordon himself, and the opportunity, the whole thing that I did over there. Uh, Consistency, hard work, for sure. That will be probably the advices that I got from this experience. Hard work, payoff.
Is this the one thing that gets him to like someone?
What do you mean?
I mean, what makes Gordon Ramsay like someone who works like in a kitchen? You say that when he saw the results, he was really satisfied. What would you say like was like the I don't know, like the number one factor that got him to be like satisfied about the results he had?
Satisfied?
Yes.
I think it was about making try something different that he had tried. I mean, it's a chef, so he's always trying things. He has a lot of show, a lot of things to do. So obviously he's trying food daily. But I think he was very proud of the the replicate of the brand back from the UK to the US, and I think that's what he liked it. I mean, all the tasting that we've done, he loves it. So I think that was it. That was probably the fact that we replicate the brand that he very love to. It's a very it's this brand Lucky Cat is really the brand that he wanted to put it together for, because of all his experience as a chef and as a chef who traveled the world and learn about other culture, and he wants to bring it back. That's the a little bit the story behind Lucky Cat, is that um, all his travels in Asia, he wants to put it together in Europe or in the US, just to be able to show people who never traveled to be able to try this different part of Asia in the same place, which he did very well. I mean, I love the menu, I love the food, the ideas, the chef that he who work for him under him over there. They are all very talented, so it's a very good brand, and he put it together something very unique. It's hard, the business here in the US right now, but overall, the idea, the brand, and the people who work for him are doing a good job.
Ask you, I mean, for someone who worked in these kitchens with, let's say, all those interesting people, you don't seem to be very active on social media. I was checking your Instagram, you have your presence, but others with like, I don't know, very like casual career like paths who've worked in like very casual places are trying to build like fan bases. Meanwhile, someone like you, I mean, probably your daily work is enough content for social media to build a fan base. So how come
Right.
you're not active that way? I mean, what's your take on social media? As a chef, I'm talking, not
So,
personally.
right. So, the thing is, I learned how to cook back then, and at that time there wasn't no social media at all. So I haven't been around that from the beginning. So what I see from chefs now is they put social media first, and then knowledge, I believe, or learning after that. So I feel like all the chefs now knows everything, so they show it on the social media, but I don't feel like that's the reality when you are in the kitchen. So maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's just my feeling. It's just what I see. Uh, so I love social media just because you can see new things as well. It's, as a chef, it's also easier for us, to stay up to date, I will say. Um, but it's hard for me to create content all the time. I try to, to be there, out there, to show what we do on daily basis. But I know that's something I have to work it out for sure. Um, it's better for us to learn something else than just being behind the kitchen, cooking out stuff. But it's hard to become a professional so of the social media.
Yep.
So that's something nobody teach me, and it's just an app that we have on our phone. We're already busy enough, with other things, life, work. So adding this is more likely. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard for me. It's not something that I do easily.
It's
And I
almost a
want to make
full-time
sure,
job.
it is a full-time job. I mean, some people are getting paid for that, daily, and they make much more money than I will probably never make. But they all have, we all have our skills. I don't think that's one of mine, but I would love to be able to do a little more, just to show what we do on a daily basis. That is not a Everybody knows that is not an easy job. Obviously, it's more than a job. It's it's a choice of life. It's something that we do by passion.
Yep.
It's something that you don't become a chef just to become a chef, and it's hard enough already uh, to sacrifice family, friends, and holidays and that stuff. So you want to make sure that the time you spend in the restaurant, it's worth it. So if you don't have this passion for cooking or offering an experience to a guest, you can do it through the time. It's been now 20 years since I started as of today, so it's been quite a ride. It's not finished yet, hopefully. We keep working on that, but yeah, that's a reality.
If you were to open your own restaurant and you have the opportunity to hire one chef, and you have two options. One of them is someone with like 1 million followers on Instagram, but average culinary skills. The other one is a professional Michelin level chef with zero followers on Instagram. Which one you believe would be the better asset for your restaurant in Miami, let's say?
I mean, I will say number two, so the Michelin star chef with knowledge, just because this kind of knowledge you don't learn it from a day to another. Opening a website or an app and create a content, you can always hire someone on the side to help out to do that. But knowledge to be a chef, like I said, you learn every day.
Yep.
I learned on myself years ago about cooking, and I'm still learning every day. So it's not just a thing that we say to make it nice, but it's the reality. You don't define yourself as a chef until you understand actually what you've been doing, if that makes sense. So after 15 years of being a cook, the first few years you think you know everything, right? So you know how to do all the basic stuff that you learn at school, and then you get out from school, you have your first job, first year, second years, and then you say, "Oh, I know everything. I can cook anything. I can cook pasta. I can cook steak, fish, sauces, stocks." So you think you know everything, but then 15 years later, when you go back to your life and think about what you've been doing and what you've done as of that day, there is so much going on, so much that you learn and never stop. So yeah, knowledge, and you can teach it. So I rather have someone with all those knowledge and have someone who can help him or myself or whoever to create content around that and get followers later on and create this content to be able to attract more guests. But I still believe that if you're doing something good in your restaurant, you don't have to have millions of followers to make it busier.
Yep. You mentioned that you went to culinary school when you were 17. So, but
Yes.
in today's world, do you think that formal education, culinary education, still matters, or it's not that important as it used to be before?
So I believe it is. It's just so my situation was I wasn't very good at school, to be honest. So when you don't feel at your place, you want to find. I saw my parents always working very hard, so I knew it that I couldn't just be somewhere that I don't like and I don't enjoy. So school wasn't the place for me that I enjoy at all. So I talked to my parents. I said, listen, I got to do something. And with my hands, I got to move. I can't stand being sitting down all day. So I try myself to become a mechanic at first, which was like nothing from my parents. My parents always been in the food industry. So I try myself just because I didn't want to be like them, I guess, at that time. So I tried something completely different for a few months during the one summer, and then I say I can't do that. So I start working in the kitchen in some summers to see if I would fit in there, and I did it. So that's why culinary school was the answer for me. I believe it's still important to do it, maybe not that young, because I think it's very important to have a good, strong, also, no basic knowledge, but more informed of everything else in life. Quitting the school that early, you're missing stuff. You know how to count, you know how to read, you know how to write, but you don't know. I learned now with my wife. She went to a school for a long time. Literature she did back there, so I learned a lot from her on the basic stuff that you need on the daily life. So I believe it's important to go to school, regular school, I will say, to a certain age, and then go to culinary or something else. But yeah, you need to have both knowledge for sure.
Interesting. One final question before I let you go. I know you have a lot of things to do. What gets you like to hire someone right away? What do you look for in a potential candidate during a job interview?
That's a good question. I like it because this is something that we do often, obviously. Um, So depend on the position first, I will say, because it's, you don't have the same expectation depending on the position you hire the person for. Uh, but let's say if it's a management position, what I'm looking, it's knowledge about culinary, obviously. That's the most important, but also the personality. I'm very not emotional, but I'm really a reader. I don't know how to say that, but I'm trying to read people, the way they act, the way they are. Just because when you hire someone in the kitchen, again, depending on the position, you want to hire someone who is going to adapt to the team you've been building. So you don't want someone who come here and destroy everything, because one person can change the whole dynamic, the whole enthusiasm of the team, and that can be on a good way or on a bad way. So you want to make sure you understand the person you have in the front of you, and to be able to read that person, and make sure you make the right choice. So again, you look at the resume, what they knows, where they work in the past. You ask question depending if it's a management position from other restaurant, but you wanna feel it. I'm like that. I will feel if the person uh, is the right person. So I will be more by the feeling of the the communication we're gonna have the first time.
Thank you so much, Christopher. I mean, I can talk with you for hours, but again, I know you have a lot of things to do today. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Majid.